Think about this. How do soft skills actually impact your personal brand? Let's talk about it. What is a personal brand? Well, everybody has a brand. And brands are things that you cannot control. You can only influence. And why you can't control them is because they're controlled in the minds of the audience. If I say Starbucks, some people love Starbucks. Some people think it tastes like burnt coffee. Some people think it's too expensive. Some people wait 35 minutes or 40 minutes in line before they go to work at an airport to get their Starbucks coffee before they do anything else. Starbucks can't control it, but they can influence it by what they do. Same thing with personal brands. What do people think about us when they really see us or we come into their peripheral, their picture mentally or physically in a space? Again, we can't control it. We can only influence it. And soft skills have a big role in that. So let me walk you through the aspects of a personal brand and how do I influence my personal brand? Well, number one is thinking about how is it that we show up? When somebody sees us enter a room, when somebody sees an email come across from us, when somebody sees our phone number come across on a phone, what is their immediate gut reaction? Are they excited or are they trying to avoid us? And how we interact with others, how we communicate, how we flex, how we deal with certain situations impacts that immediate initial brand of how we show up and that immediate initial reaction. So thinking about that, number one, how you show up. Number two, how we handle stress, which again comes down to soft skills. Are we able to handle stress in a way that is productive? Or when we're stressed, does everybody know we're stressed? Right? When we're stressed, do we add more to other people? And again, it impacts our brand. Soft skills and how to deal with stress can help us create an environment of encouragement or discouragement based on how we handle it. So number two, how we handle stress. Number three, how we give and receive feedback. This one is a big one on soft skills. How do we give constructive criticism? How do we give appreciation? How are we doing at giving feedback in a way that's absorbed and again creates an encouragement, not a discouragement when we're providing it? How do we leverage feedback when we're giving it to create even stronger working relationships that help us work better together to drive those results? On the second part of that is how do we receive it? And most people unconsciously don't receive feedback well, right? And when we don't receive feedback well, it impacts our brand in a way where people say, I might as well beat my head up against that wall than go give them feedback because they're going to justify it or they're going to defend it or they're going to say, you don't understand, or they're all of a sudden, it's not going to be productive. Do we absorb it? Are we open to it? Are we welcoming? Do we really feel like they can give us feedback in a way where we can work through it and potentially change our mind? That impacts our brand. And again, soft skills, how we communicate, how we listen, how we're able to absorb ideas, how we're able to flex to certain individuals, how we give and receive feedback is a big component. So number one, how we show up. Number two, how we handle stress. Number three, how we give and receive feedback. Number four, how do we present our ideas? Sometimes we have to deliver difficult information. Sometimes we have to get people to do things that they might not necessarily want to do or be excited about doing. How do we present our ideas where people feel like they're walking with us? They're not being forced into things. And so again, how soft skills have a huge overarching impact on our brand, how we communicate, how we give feedback, how we show up, how we flex to other people. How are we just, it seems common sense, but it's not common anymore. How are we just nice people and have an authentic, positive intent when we're dealing with situations, whether it's a good situation or a bad situation versus malice, or we're trying to get a step ahead, or we're trying to put ourselves out there? How do we encompass other people and work with other people, leveraging these soft skills that allow us to get so much further in the results that we're driving versus feel like we're pushing a boulder uphill? So think about it. What type of leader are you? What type of brand do you have? How do you show up? How do you handle stress? How do you give and receive feedback? How do you present your ideas? Are there things that you can do today to influence your brand? Again, you can't control it. You can do everything right and people still not like you. You can do everything wrong and somebody's going to still support you. But how do you influence in a way that allows you to work with people to drive even better results? Whatever that is, make the shift today.